Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelenskyy has met with U.S. officials one day now after, you could call it a war of words, escalated with President Trump. Yesterday, the president described Zelenskyy as a dictator, accusing him of duping America into providing billions of dollars in assistance.
A dictator without elections. Zelenskyy better move fast or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move fast because that war is going in the wrong direction.
CBS News senior foreign correspondent Elizabeth Palmer joins us now live from London with more on this. Liz, Zelenskyy says he's supposed to meet with Trump's special envoy to Ukraine and Russia in Kyiv today. And I believe we're just learning there's a planned press conference that has been cancelled per a U.S. request. This is according to Kyiv. Bring us up to speed on these latest developments.
Well, retired General Keith Kellogg has been there. He arrived yesterday and has been there today. We have no idea what they've discussed or even who was present at the meetings. General Kellogg went in with a fairly dovish position. He said, I'm going to listen. I do recognize that Ukraine wants security guarantees that will be written into a peace agreement. So very much in contrast to what we've been hearing from President Trump. Why the press conference today was canceled is anybody's guess. Look, it could be that there's just nothing to report. They haven't been able to come to any constructive agreement. But equally, it could be that General Kellogg is trying to keep his head below the parapet while these furious salvos are issuing from President Trump in America. And he doesn't want to say anything to inflame the president even further.
We were just looking at some live pictures of Zelenskyy meeting with the U.S. envoy. We just lost some of it as we were chatting with you, Liz, but all of this happening in real time. And President Trump is warning Zelenskyy to, quote, move fast toward reaching a deal. I'm wondering how President Zelenskyy is responding and reacting to what is a sharp turn in U.S. policy toward Ukraine.
It's hard to imagine. He must be reeling because this came from nowhere, apparently. All the analysts say that speed is going to play into Russia's hands, that a really well-crafted peace agreement should have Ukraine at the table, and it will be complex, and it will take time. And in fact, the Russians have signaled that. They're saying, oh, you know, this is going to take some time, it's going to take some setup, and so on. When President Trump says Ukrainian President Zelenskyy has to move fast, it's not clear what he's talking about. I mean, Zelenskyy has been sidelined, so what he's supposed to do quickly, anybody's guess.
I want to quickly ask you about Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz reacting to Trump's comments, calling them dangerous. Germany is Europe's largest economy. You know, Scholz incredibly influential in what happens. What do you make of that?
Well, I think he's referring to the fact that President Trump called President Zelenskyy a dictator. And unjustly, because it's true, Ukraine didn't have elections when it was meant to last May. But can you imagine holding elections under these circumstances in the middle of a war with millions of people outside the country? The country is under martial law, and under Ukrainian law, if there is martial law, there are no elections. So he was perfectly correct in not holding the election last spring. That's not to say he isn't a leader with huge credibility. And I think the Germans are getting at the fact that this is the wrong time to erode President Zelenskyy's standing internationally by calling him a dictator and erode his credibility with his own people, because he's in a tight spot. And he is going to be going into negotiations and asking Ukrainians for compromise. He needs all the credibility he can get right now, not being, you know, splattered with unjust insults, unjust and unmerited insults.
Yeah, uncharted territory here for all involved. Liz Palmer, great to have you with us, joining us from our London bureau.